this episode, we are discussing a subject which very few people, including myself, have enough clarity on. But it's a very important subject because it's a game changer in the field of national defense and security of any country. And as some of you would know, recently, India once again tested a hypersonic vehicle, and it tested the technology that goes behind these vehicles. But I must also admit, in all honesty, we are not quite there. We have been testing, we've been testing in phases, and we are doing a catch-up game with countries like China and the United States. Never mind the fact that we are the fourth country in the world to have acquired this technology, and it is going to have a great influence on our country's both offensive and defense capabilities. And we have two distinguished guests with us. We have Lieutenant General V.K. Saxena, who's a distinguished fellow at the VIF. He is also a distinguished academic and a fellow associated with Center for Land Warfare Studies, CLAWS, and has been formerly the Director General of the Air Defense arm of the Indian Army. So a man who understands both academically and implementably what can be done. And we have Dr. Sudhir Mishra, former Director General of the DRDO and also formerly head of the BrahMos missile program. So I'll start with you, Dr. Mishra, sir.
Please.
BrahMos missile seems to be one of the platforms that is being considered in the next phase of being given a push by this kind of technology. From what I understand, that this cruise vehicle or the cruise missile that we are looking at inventing, there are lots of academic technology related titles that are being associated with each platform. But the bottom line is that we tested it to achieve the desired flight path. We are not quite there. Why are we not quite there? Because we as a country have also exhibited world-class ability to produce missile technology, cruise missiles like BrahMos missiles being a case in point. So how is it very different, this hypersonic platform, as compared to what we have already produced?
Thank you, Maruf. BrahMos is a supersonic missile, and it's a natural progression to have a hypersonic missile. We have undertaken in DRDO several lead-in projects. So the missile test under HSTDV program, which has been undertaken by DRDO, and we have conducted these tests for three times. So these are the programs which have developed the leading technologies, and these leading technologies will result into the development of hypersonic missile program. You see, there are several challenges. The first is we have to carry out the experiments with the booster, then separation technologies, and finally the scramjet engine. The second is we have to develop the necessary materials, fuels, harnessings, plus the engine, which itself is a great technology in itself. It's a cooled scramjet engine. And apart from this, we have to develop a technology called for flame retainer. So these technologies takes a lot of time. And in the test of HSTDV, we have tested few of these technologies. The second is we have also conducted several tests using CFD, computational fluid dynamics. Then we have also developed a supersonic wind tunnel test facility at Hyderabad, and these all were supported by academic research at ISC Bangalore and IIT. So the combined efforts of these all have come together, and we would be able to develop a hypersonic program. Of course, these technologies have been developed at the lab level, some have been tested, but we would be needing funds to come out with a real product.
That's very well brought out, sir. And you've touched on a point which I'm going to ask you later, that what is the state of funding? But more of that later. And now to the distinguished General. General, sir, it is said that hypersonic weapons are not only disruptive technologies, but they are also possible to be carrying nuclear warheads. Now, the question that immediately comes to my mind, nuclear warheads have been around for at least since 1945, but there has been a lot of debate about their deliveries, and they're not considered to be launched despite threats once in a while. But the fact of the matter is that aren't the delivery technologies for nuclear weapons already adequate? So why is it that this is being considered in the strategic space of nuclear weapons? Could it serve a better purpose for conventional usage, as Russia recently demonstrated in Ukraine?
You use the word disruptive technology. I will start from there. Hypersonic weapons today, why is a buzzword today, is for certain reasons which are the combat virtues or the signatures of the system. Let us just start with one sentence. What is this hypersonic all about? A hypersonic weapon is a projectile, is a weapon which flies greater than Mach 5, which is 1.715 kilometer per second or 6174 kilometer per hour. That is the speed. Second is, it remains in the endo-atmospheric region, means it uses the atmosphere's oxygen to drive its engine. Just keep these two words aside. That with this, what is so special about this? Even if it is doing this speed, by doing this speed, it achieves the characteristic of being unstoppable. Why unstoppable? A hypersonic weapon in the region of 5 to 6 Mach can strike anywhere in the world in 1 hour. Any conventional air defense or anti-missile system requires certain finite time to detect the target, to lock on it, to fire, to destroy. Now, this hypersonic weapon coming at this speed beats that cycle, and that is why it is called unstoppable by any conventional air defense system. One. Number two, more important. With this sort of a speed, the kinetic catastrophic kill capability of such a weapon is extremely huge.
Okay.
I mean, about 36 times the conventional weapon. And third virtue is unpredictability. A weapon being hurled at me at 6, 7 to 10 Mach, it can be maneuvered to any target in my entire defended zone. It is keeping me at a stake for a large swath of area. That is the reason which is the current buzzword hypersonic, unstoppability, unpredictability, and catastrophic kill capability.
Very comprehensively brought out, sir. This is an answer made for television. May I go back to Dr. Sudhir sir? Now, you mentioned somewhere about wind tunnels and wind tunnels required for testing. You also referred to that there has been a requirement for funding for enhancing our capabilities. Now, today everything is being compared with China, at least in our context and even in the context of the US. That is geopolitically the disruptor today in the world. It has enhanced its capabilities manyfold. And my figures tell me that they have pumped in a lot of money in China, and increasingly so from 2015 onwards, right? And I think that is when your product, BrahMos missile, also came into reckoning, 2015 to 18, that about time. Now, how is it that this matter was allowed not to be addressed that seriously? Were we going about development in phases? Were we having a shortfall of budget? Were we having an approach which worried me about our strategic thinking, that we had a defensive defense approach, not an offensive defense approach? Your view?
It is apt to say that we have never, I should say that we were not serious. No, we have been all the time serious.
Okay.
And we have been developing the technologies under the HSTDV program. We have invested a lot of money, huge amount of money to design, develop and realize hypersonic wind tunnel. Incidentally, India is third country in the world to have a supersonic, it's not only supersonic, it's a hypersonic wind tunnel test facility. Apart from this, we have spent huge amount of money in the academics. And when it comes to China, China basically has developed a hypersonic glide vehicle. This glide vehicle has been put on a continental missile booster and then launch. So the function of glide vehicle and a hypersonic missile, both are different. The glide vehicle basically is used for strategic reasons, and a missile, hypersonic missile, although we used to call it a BrahMos 2, and that uses a scramjet engine. This scramjet engine is a supersonic combustion engine. You see, we have to understand that in the BrahMos, we use a supersonic engine. This supersonic engine, the combustion takes place in the subsonic region. Everything is known about it. But in the supersonic scramjet engine, we carry out the combustion at a supersonic speed.
Okay, now I just want to interrupt. It has been, I've been informed by some more knowledgeable people that this could be seen as an aircraft also, as a remotely piloted or non-piloted aircraft, which moving at the speed, as the general has brought out, of 5 to 6 Mach, which is what our testing platforms are also registering that speed, is phenomenal speed. Nobody can really pick it up in time to stop its flight path, stop it in its flight path. So what is it that we need to understand? Is this a missile or is it an aircraft?
It's a very interesting question. The answer is also very interesting. The answer is any cruise missile is an aircraft. It's an unmanned aircraft.
Right.
So whether it's a subsonic or supersonic or a hypersonic, it is an aircraft, unmanned, filled with fuel to reach to the destination and a warhead to cause the destruction. And a hypersonic missile flies at, as mentioned